The warped mind of a killer is a labyrinth of confusion, contradictions, and deeply buried motivations. When the police interrogate a 5X killer, someone who has claimed 5 lives, uncovering the truth involves navigating a minefield of deceit, manipulation, and twisted logic. These individuals often wear masks, hiding their true nature behind layers of lies, half-truths, and distorted perceptions. But in the police interrogation room, those layers begin to unravel. What emerges is a glimpse into the disturbing mindset that allows one person to rationalize taking multiple lives. It's both chilling and mesmerizing. As the interrogation begins, the room feels tense, every breath, every slight movement charged with meaning. On one side sits the detective, calm but focused, their experience and training guiding every question. On the other side is the killer, guarded yet oddly at ease, often displaying no remorse. Many serial offenders, especially those who have killed multiple times, have come to terms with their actions in their own twisted way. They might see themselves as superior to their victims, as if their lives hold more worth. This sense of superiority can be detected in subtle shifts during the conversation, in the way they answer certain questions, or in their nonchalance about the lives they've taken. One of the most perplexing aspects of these killers is their ability to dissociate. They often talk about their crimes as though they were passive observers, disconnected from the horrific acts they've committed. In some cases, they might refer to their victims as things or objects, stripping them of their humanity. This language offers a disturbing insight into how these killers see the world and their place within it. It also suggests that, at some point in their lives, they stopped viewing others as people with thoughts, feelings, and emotions, reducing them to mere playthings in their own violent fantasies. Throughout the interrogation, detectives are acutely aware of the killer's psychological makeup. While they might engage in casual conversation or ask seemingly benign questions, every move is calculated. These killers often possess a strong sense of pride and may want to brag about their crimes, revealing details they hadn't initially intended to share. This need to boast can be the key to breaking down their defenses. The more they talk, the more likely they are to slip up, revealing inconsistencies in their story or showing cracks in the carefully crafted facade they've built over the years. The police interrogation of a 5X killer is not merely about gathering facts, it's about understanding the why behind the what. These killers, in many cases, are driven by deep-seated desires, often tied to control, power, or revenge. The police know that to truly understand these individuals, they must delve into the dark corners of their psyche. This can be a challenging task, as these killers have often spent years perfecting the art of manipulation. But under the intense scrutiny of interrogation, their defenses begin to crumble. Whether through a misplaced word, a twitch of the eye, or an unexpected emotional outburst, the truth eventually begins to surface. One of the more common tactics used by law enforcement during these interrogations is the creation of empathy. By pretending to understand the killer's motives, detectives can make the suspect feel as though they are not alone in their twisted worldview. This approach often leads the killer to open up, as they believe they are finally speaking to someone who understands them. Once they begin talking, the floodgates often open. They may describe their crimes in chilling detail, recounting the exact moments of violence, the look on their victims' faces, and the satisfaction they felt afterward. It's these confessions that can be the most unnerving, not because of the acts themselves, but because of the detachment and lack of remorse with which they are often described. However, not all killers are willing to share the full story. Some remain defiant until the end, believing that their secrets give them power over the police. These killers may offer partial truths or mislead detectives in an attempt to control the narrative, but even in their silence, there is much to learn. Their body language, the way they respond to certain questions, and the emotional reactions they try to suppress all provide vital clues. What makes these interrogations even more complicated is that many killers see themselves as victims in their own right. They might blame their upbringing, society, or a specific individual for pushing them toward violence. This victim mentality, however, does not excuse their actions, and it often becomes a central point of discussion during the interrogation. Detectives must navigate these self-pitying narratives carefully, ensuring that they don't give the killer an opportunity to play the sympathy card while still probing for useful information. In some cases, killers might try to justify their actions by claiming that their victims deserved what happened to them. This rationalization is another layer of the warped thinking that drives these individuals. By shifting the blame onto their victims, they distance themselves from the moral responsibility of their actions. These justifications, while nonsensical to most, are entirely logical within the mind of the killer. The interrogation room becomes a space where these distorted justifications are laid bare, allowing law enforcement to piece together the killer's true motivations. As the interrogation progresses, it becomes clear that each killer is unique in their pathology. Some are driven by a need for power, others by revenge, and still others by a desire to rid the world of people they deem unworthy. Yet, despite their different motivations, there is a common thread that runs through most of their stories, a deep-seated sense of entitlement. Whether they believe they are above the law, above morality, or simply above their victims, these killers operate under the belief that their actions are justified in some twisted way. The end of the interrogation is often the most telling part of the process. At this point, detectives have gathered the information they need, but they continue to probe, looking for any final confessions, any last-minute slips. The killer, having spent hours in the interrogation room, may begin to lose their composure. The cracks in their facade become more apparent, and their true nature starts to emerge. This is when the most chilling revelations often come to light. In these final moments, the killer may offer a glimpse into their true feelings, whether it be pride, regret, or, in some cases, complete indifference. It's in these moments that the detectives get a true sense of the kind of person they are dealing with. Ultimately, police interrogations of a 5X killer are as much about understanding the person behind the crimes as they are about securing a confession. These killers are often complex individuals, shaped by a combination of psychological issues, personal experiences, and warped worldviews. By studying their behavior during interrogation, law enforcement can gain valuable insights into the minds of those who commit such heinous acts, helping to prevent future tragedies. The interrogation may end, but the impact of what has been uncovered lingers. For the detectives, it's another step toward justice. For the killer, it's a moment of reckoning. But for the world, it's a stark reminder of the darkness that can reside within the human mind, and the fragile line that separates order from chaos.